Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to the last pairing in our round of 8 for our third season of the subscriber game tournament. And we have Peanuts taking on Will Be Deed. And Peanuts is the higher seed here, and he's opted to attack for his first game here in the Siege round. And we're going to check out their picks and bans. So as Peanuts is the attacking side, he's going to kick things off with a ban on Wu Tugu, answered by Zhang Jiao, Zhou Yu, Yan Baihu, Lü Bu, and Liu Chong. So there's definitely some responses and priorities between the two sides. Peanut banning away Wu Tugu does not want to deal with those Javelin Spear Guards. Zhang Jiao being banned does not want to deal with Messenger of Heaven. Those two bans are targeting units. And then for Zhou Yu's ban on ban 3, it's a telegraph move to kind of force you to ban Yan Baihu because you're banning one of the better strategists countering Yan Baihu's stock. And then we have just a ban of pretty powerful generals in Lü Bu and Liu Chong. So for the attacking side, the first pick here is going to be a bit shocking as we have Ma Chao picked up for Peanuts. This is a very weird pick in my opinion. On offense, you don't really value cavalry, and it's not like Ma Chao provides the best cavalry in the game either. And as a general, there's nothing super special about him either. There is way better choices, given that if you want Vanguard abilities, Xu Huang is still available at much more health, and also Unbreakable. So Ma Chao's pick is definitely a bit puzzling here. And then in response, Will Be Deed is going with the strategist on defense, going with Sima Yi, so Whitewater active to block enemy ability usage, and potentially some crossbow units, as Will Be Deed is pretty famous for his 2 crossbow setups. And then for bans, we start with Will Be Deed this time, banning out Xu Huang, the better choice over Ma Chao in my opinion, and then we have a ban of Huang Fusong here, worried about those unbreakable defenders for the defender side. And we end up with picks of Dong Zhuo from Will Be Deed and Cao Cao from Peanuts. Dong Zhuo here is almost as curious as Ma Chao, as he does not really present any valuable unique skills or unique units, nor is he unbreakable, which could be a very big problem because both he and Sima Yi are not unbreakable generals, and none of them can recruit any unbreakable unit. Even though Sima Yi does have the Qingzhou roster, which is resilient to roars at least one time, it really opens them up to a Sun Ce counter, or even a Zhang Fei counter, which are both pretty scary for units that are not unbreakable. And since they're on the defensive side, they're probably going to end up near the city center at some point, and that's when those roars become really powerful because you can get a bunch of characters. Now you are protected a little bit by Sima Yi's Whitewater, where you can't activate those abilities up close, but Sima Yi as a strategist doesn't have that much health. If you are able to damage him a bit beforehand and rout him off the battle, the rest of the units are sitting ducks at that point. Now Cao Cao being picked offers quite a few things, good unit choices, as well as a better version of Inspiring Surge to speed up potential Flames of Phoenix from Ma Chao. I'm still puzzled about that Ma Chao first pick. I think that is just a wasted opportunity, and we'll see if that comes back to bite Peanuts. But the last round of bans, we have a ban of Mu Lu and Zhang Fei. So Mu Lu wanting to get rid of elephants makes total sense. The Zhang Fei ban, now Deed's worried about the potential roar effect from Zhang Fei, which we just talked about, since both of his generals are not unbreakable and they can't really recruit any unbreakable unit, so they're very vulnerable to roars like Zhang Fei's ability, which is why I like this ban here, although Sun Ce is still up, so that could still be an issue. And now we have our final blind pick on both sides, and we end up with Chen Gong on Peanut's side, and Will Be Deed is picking up Huang Shao. So Chen Gong is another pretty puzzling pick here. He does have Analyze Weakness, which can debuff enemy generals to a degree, but what are we really trying to debuff here? It's Sima Yi and Dong Zhuo, not very powerful. Obviously, picking up a strategist on the attacking side as the last pick is smart because you basically hide the fact whether you will have trebuchets or not. Because if you pick the strategist and pick 1 or 2, they kind of know that you're bringing trebuchets. In this case, you're hiding that fact, so that part is nice, but I do question if Chenggong is the best pick from all the strategists that's still available. And same as Ma Chao. So maybe there's some combination I'm not aware of, but it is definitely a very interesting comp that Peanuts ends up with here, starting things off on the attacking side, and Will Be Deed is answering with Huang Shao, which offers some unique ideas. He can do surprise attack, maybe sneak a few of Dong Zhuo's cheap cavalry out using that, and they can maybe hunt down some key targets outside. It's 60 seconds, not a lot of time, but maybe they can get into the forest and then use the forest the rest of the way to sneak behind the enemy and surprise attack. He's also unbreakable, have decent amount of health, has pretty good units available to him, so maybe that's the reason why he's brought, to shore up some of that morale issue that could potentially be dangerous for Will Be Deed, as he doesn't know what the third general could be, and Zhang Fei Ban might alert your opponent into your own weakness as well. So let's see how this is played out, but before we do that, let's take a look at what unit they brought on these generals. And now looking at the unit composition from Will Be Deed, we have a lot of spear infantry. We have 4 protectors of heaven from Dong Zhuo, no cavalry units at all, which is interesting. We have those 2 signature crossbowmen. We have 4 unbreakable militia virtue, 1 chanter, and 1 cheap spearman unit. So the chanter is there to boost all those infantry, give them 10% extra damage. I believe there's also 10% armor granted. I think there's some defensive stat. It escapes my mind right now, but there's another boost on it. And we have some crossbow for damage, just for ranged threat. It's an interesting comp because those unbreakable militia virtue can hold positions quite well. They are prone to getting shot by friendly tower damage because they don't have a lot of anti-range. We'll see how that plays out. But on Peanut's side, we see a pretty big army of all sorts of units. So Ma Chao is brought for 2 Qiang cavalry, the shock variety, which is interesting. They are fatigue immune, so they could ride without any fatigue factor, but that's not really a valid enough reason to recruit him, I feel like. We also do have 1 melee cav, maybe to soak up some enemy range damage, definitely very good for that. Then for Cao Cao, we have 2 yellow dragons ranked up, which is an interesting choice, as we have more ranks up on all the range units, so I don't fault him. He did put the money where he should in regards to having the siege weapon, the trebuchet at rank 8, crossbow units at rank 5, archers at rank 5 for fire arrows, and then we have what I assume is 1 camp crusher, and we have 4 Qingzhou spearmen as well. So definitely an interesting comp. I think it's very well rounded and definitely could do very well here. The cavalry could help out the generals, although I'm still not over the fact why Ma Chao had to be picked, especially pick 1. That seems like an odd choice here, and we'll see how this one plays out on the battlefield. And looking at deployment, it seems like the Bastion siege weapons have been placed one side towards where we see the siege weapons. There's a cavalry unit kind of thrown in here, dismounted on the battering ram, I assume, and that's draw the attention over. That's exactly what you expect. There's nothing too crazy about that. And then on the other side, we have the actual army hiding here, going for a corner, which is a good choice. And we can see that Will Be Deed actually is pretty cautious. He slammed a militia virtue at each gate, which is actually really smart, because the distance of marching from the center to the edge of the gates, if the general just comes in and bash the gates, it's not enough time to get infantry out that far. But once you can identify where the enemy is coming from, it's also not that far for these to pull back to the center. So starting out with a unit at each gate is pretty wise if you have the units to spare, and these are unbreakable, so even if they get tangled up in a fight, they can hold that position for quite long before they need any more help. But obviously this would be a trebuchet battle, so they're going to come in through that crack. I do wonder how many towers they're going to go for. They do have some fire archers, so they can actually take out a few towers in town before they move in. The cavalry's for support. I don't really know why Qiang units are picked. They don't have raider trait, they don't burn down anything. It's just fatigue immunity. I don't know why that's so special. Ma Chao is pretty much like a regular Vanguard, except he has internal blaze, which makes him impetuous. He doesn't listen to you. It's not exactly something you want. It's a good bonus for him, but it's not record mode, so like increasing his own personal stats here, it's not really going to impact too much. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty slow grind at the beginning to get this trebuchet out, and maybe that cavalry... I don't understand why the dismounts happened over here, because now they can't really abandon their siege weapon and go back to their horses, because they're not going to make it. They could have easily just showed... Oh, so there's the siege tower. They can show this and then just leave and then get on their horses and ride around and just fool these deployment. That's really all they needed to do there. We're in the center yet. Don't see too much. A couple units creeping out in turtle formation. Grab those aggros. Exactly what you should do. The corner, you have to be careful because the towers shoot from every side. So you want to make sure you grab both sides aggro first before the archers get out. But maybe the trebuchet would be enough here. You can see they're shooting individual arrows from the same tower on both sides. So make sure you get both sides aggro before they step out. And they should make pretty quick work of this tower. Save the ammo of the trebuchet for the wall and maybe for the clumps of units inside. We see Will Be Deed is realizing the enemy has a siege tower. Not siege tower, trebuchet. Siege tower is burning over there. I don't think it's going to get here. The siege tower is going to burn up by these weapons, so they're never really going to land here. Yeah, they're going to burn. They could still climb the wall, but I doubt it's going to be a threat. Alright, we got those fire damage coming online. Are we going for any walls here? What are we shooting with the trebuchets? Yeah, a little shower of arrows. There we go, over 50%. All good. Just put them still. No need to move them. And we're gonna guard here. Yeah, the awkward situation is the gates are only at the 4 sides. So if you're going through a corner here, which is really smart, no interior towers, you can kind of position your troops inside before advancing and then try to burn this down. There's really nothing for the defender to do. This is probably one of the best ways to enter the settlement. Surprise attack, so they're going invisible. They're bringing only 2 generals. Are they trying to snipe this? Oh, those Chow Marauders are going to be really useful here. We can see a Qingzhou Haber being pulled back towards the siege weapon. Very smart. Just cover it. That's clearly the target. They get vision of them disappearing from vision. So now they abandon the effort towards this because it's being protected. And they're trying to maybe just do a slam ability on this. Stop the fire damage. But a gap has been created. We have Stifling Deluge. They can't use any abilities. They're getting charged. Do a little bit of damage and get out. And get out. A turtle formation charge, that's fine. I think he was just trying to charge for speed. And now just run back for losing too much health. Dongzhuo got 5k, 6k health deleted. Huangsha left without any damage. They're chasing inside, which is something free to do actually, until they get to tower range maybe? Ooh, maybe they don't get out. With the gap now, the town unit's joining in and the damage is stacking up. Ooh, that's gonna be friendly fire. Just, yeah, stop shooting. Alright, Dongzhuo's down to 18k, and he lost 1k, he lost about 7k. So we got some, whatever units he had nearby, the Militia, Virtue, and Sima Yi coming to dissuade the enemy from continuing to chase. But it seems like they're going for it, because there's not much damage on these militias. The second one's being sent over. The others are pulling back. They finished firing, that's why they routed, the cavalry routed. And the rest of the unit should be coming out. Are they going to just guard the center here? Dongzhuo is very badly beaten up. Down to 10k health. He did activate his Blade Breaker. Now he's at 160% armor. He probably can bounce back. He's only at 0, so as long as no one's attacking him, he should be fine. Huangsha is dismounted, and they have answered dismount. Do they really want to fight here, though? Oh, the units are pouring in. Okay, okay. Are they just going to engage? Perhaps they are. This does not look good for Deed. We got a okay, so he's remounted. He's abandoning this fight. Fighting here 1v3 is suicide. They dismounted, he mounted, time to run. Abandon the 2 militias. Leave them to die here. Hold the enemy away and get the general back. They steal 4 Protectors of Heaven. There's still 2 crossbow. Fight over here. But it's going to be hard to keep these towers up. There's going to be a lot of fire support, a lot of siege weapons. They're still chasing. Yeah, Dongzhuo's barely bounced back. 180% armor now. Why is this Camp Crusher still in the back? Alright, they're pulling all the militia virtues over from the other gates. You can see the other one. That's a peasant spearman. We have our chanter. Chanter boosts what? Yeah, it's armor. We remember correctly. 10% damage and 10% armor. Alright, they're gonna just slowly clean up these unbreakable infantry. He gets fast slams because Cao Cao will speed up his cooldown. There's no need to shoot these, but they can definitely feel free to shoot these unbreakable unit. Yellow Dragon come in, fire beam. Martingale units have raid, so they can just raider trait. They can burn everything they walk by. Let's get these guys in, killing off all the militia, doing very, very good. Turtle formation, trying to grab this. They can do that, but maybe with more support would be better. Finish this up. Deed is pulling farther back, putting some traps there to slow them. Deciding it's better to defend farther inwards. Sneaking two guys over here, maybe trying to catch them off guard. Still trying to kill that trebuchet, because there's 17 shots. The whole town's going to be ablaze. Yeah, if they drop the morale by another 20 points, the peasant spearman's not going to fight for very long. Dongzhuo's going to be gone. Yeah, any sort of town damage is just going to knock Dongzhuo out of this fight. So we see the surprise attack being used again, desperately trying to stop this slow advance, because if this thing gets in, it's kind of over. He's trying to stop the turtle formation. This is risky, right? You're getting punished really quickly. Cao Cao has a fast enough horse to chase him. I wonder if he's going to risk it, though, because of this still being up. You can see the arrows coming in. Trebuchet is very slow, squeezing through this gap in the wall, but he'll get there. What is this Camp Crusher doing? Move. He's forgotten about his Camp Crusher. It's a good unit. I mean, it's an expensive unit. They kind of need him. Makes things a little bit more even. There's 4 protectors back here. They're way back because they don't want to get hit by the trebuchet, which is wise. And they're going for the cheap route, using fire archers instead of trebuchet shots to burn the town, which is also very smart. You got the turtle taking the aggro, and they have shorter range than the 200 on these archers anyways, so Wolby just has to watch the city burn. Not much he can do at this point. Dongzhuo's going to get routed from that. And they're not going to look very good either. Oh, he is not unbreakable. My bad. So the entire army is actually super vulnerable to roars. I mean, Chen Gong's pick look pretty good right now. That trebuchet is looking swell. I still don't get Ma Chao's pick though, but that's a different question. Alright, got the city being burnt. Marching right through it. Capturing some gates. Burning the rest. Throwing the peasant here. Poor civilians. And they said Dongzhuo was bad. Very even ratio of the type of civilians we have. Enemies here, run! Why are these cavalry being sent to towers? That's a super puzzling move. They're not even sent to capture the towers. Wait, what are they doing? Well, they're sneaking over. What are they doing? Alright, this is definitely a distraction. I think he threw these up to buy time for these to advance. The trebuchet hasn't done anything yet, so if they can sneak up before it does too much... Ooh, we're getting a Why do they have to fight now? Just wait for the trebuchet to fire off their 17 shots. Yeah, they're hitting over here. The surprise attack's being used for extra damage. Yeah, obviously peasants get killed. Militia made it. I don't think Wolby has the micro on them to... Yeah, he's too busy over here. They're not being sent into the range unit. What a shame. Alright, we got a roar by Ma Chao. We got Wisdom River by... Ma Chao got killed. He wasn't dismounted. Yeah, I don't know why he was picked. Back to that. Why was he picked? And why are Yellow Dragons not charging? Alright, now we got the return Wisdom River. Cao Cao's also not dismounted. Absolutely getting chunked. Dong Zhuo routed and came back again. The crossbows get some time to fire on these Qingzhou units. Well, whenever Wolby is done microing over here, he will send those. In the meantime, this group is not doing anything. I mean, they got stuck into Protector. Like, okay, fine, they got stuck into Protector. Yeah, quality infantry fighting. Dong Zhuo came back. They're chasing Cao Cao, who's very low, leaving Chen Gong alone here to die. Cao Cao died anyways. Wow, things have swung way back. Okay, he's now microing the militia to come back to the fight. I mean, those town marauders, as you can see, they came back and they're just routing. They got killed by those towers. Now he realized he has them behind enemy lines. That camp pressure is still not being moved. The Protector is going to be enough to hold here. The two that's still alive. Well, he kept one in the back just in case someone sneaks behind. So he had 4. He lost 1. This one's coming off a lot of pressure from that particular Yellow Dragon. This one's charging through. Dong Zhuo's finally gone. And the back line's getting wrecked. Oh my god, that one extra unit. Well, things have flipped. Things have definitely flipped. Sustained fights aren't good for Yellow Dragons. I mean, Chancer's not going to beat them, but they just don't have the defensive stats to really do anything here. Sima Yi versus Chen Gong. Oh, they are okay. And militias kill slowly, but they're going to beat all the range units in the world. The generals can go help once they beat them. Protector can join. There's nothing to defend against. Just kill this thing. Wow, the timing of things just... Like, you see the trebuchet still has 6 shots. There was no reason, like, just burn these towers. The Yellow Dragons did not need to engage. Let the trebuchet finish shooting, let the crossbow finish shooting, let the fire archers finish shooting, and then engage with your infantry and generals. And the 2 cavalry were just kind of thrown over here, and look how many bodies are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cavalry just like being thrown away, and those units just routes. And obviously, we haven't even talked about the missing camp crushers. Oh, they're moving now. And he's looking at his unit cards, be like, do I have any units left? Oh, I have a camp crusher. Yeah, that's going to be army lost as soon as these things route, and he's the only one. He's not going to be able to make it, because they're going to get routed right now. And even if they make it, camp crushers versus 2 crossbow plus 3 protectors inside and 2 unbreakable militias, it's over. Yeah, army loss kicks in. This is definitely a turnaround. I expected one. The beginning was really good. Sneaking the trebuchet on this side, avoiding all the siege bastion, siege weapons, cracking hole in the wall, protecting it. Sure, the archers got slammed a little bit, but the generals were there, the cavalry were there, they got a good chase. Wolby couldn't respond, and they gained control of this little corner, marched all the troops in, except for the camp crusher, unfortunate. But even at that point, just set up a defensive line with the Yellow Dragons at each gap. Anything charge at you, you charge right back, because you're going to do more on that charge. You set up your range unit right behind. You pound them with your trebuchets for 17 shots. You use the archers to burn the rest of the town up. There's only about a quarter damage. You know, you can go anywhere close to 50%. Dong Zhuo just routes off the field by himself and just posture and defend, and wait till you run out of ammo. Then march your infantry up. there was what, two yellow dragons, 4 Tinjo infantry, and 1 camp crusher, versus what remained 2 militia of virtue plus 4 protectors, and then you have Ma Chao combo for the slam. I'm not going to harp about Ma Chao's pick. Obviously, Xu Huang would have been better first pick, but you can still get Flame of Phoenix off really fast with him and Cao Cao repeatedly, and then just clean up the rest. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. The yellow dragon got carried away. It's like, I'm in turtle. Nothing can hurt me. Nothing can hurt me. Let's attack before everything in the back gets ready. Left nothing to protect them. Even though WoBD didn't even exploit that situation, he had his militia here sitting for like a long time, but that's understandable because the action was like overloaded over here and he had to micro this. But congratulations to WoBD taking an unlikely first match win here. And looking at the numbers here, yeah, those protectors held at the end. Militia of Virtue, the 2 that had a lot of kills, they were just basically killing archers. That doesn't really count. The Chanters were super impressive. I think they were just killing Tinjol unit that were routing. I don't think usually they have damage. The General Micro at the end there was great, using the 2 dismounted generals to take out Ma Chao really quickly, because Ma Chao only has 25k health and also does not have Unbreakable. Worth repeating because it's just a very bad first pick, especially when you pick 3 cavalry units on him, 2 of which you told to suicide to a tower, 1 of which you put in a siege tower told to suicide into 2 siege weapons. So what's the point of bringing Ma Chao there? I really don't know. The 2 yellow dragons did the best they can. I think one of them didn't get a charge off, the 25 kill one. The 146 one definitely did charge, and they charged into a protector, and they did the best they can. They killed a lot of units, which is great. The Tinjol unit I think did fine. The range unit, huge lost opportunity. So much time could be had with them. And of course you can't beat camp crushers in terms of lost opportunity because they just didn't attend the entire fight, and that kind of sealed the deal here. So a great first game comeback from WoBD, and we'll see if Peanut can collect himself and recover on the opposite side on defense now and force a tie and get ourselves an open field match number 3. So until then, bye.